So I'm going to be moving around a little bit while I'm talking. But I want to talk about this with so-called matrix. Holographic world that I know is a virtual reality. I hope you guys can still hear me. I'm walking around in the room. I hope you can still hear me. But a holographic world, a virtual reality, whatever it is, I have come to a painful realization that it's not designed for you to get out. It's not designed for you to get out. And a lot of souls that existed prior to the creation of this matrix, holographic world, whatever. Hold on a second. A lot of those souls that existed prior have gotten trapped in here. If you are an old soul that existed in a real particular, that I don't think the word is called planet. I don't think they used words. I think words started in this particular matrix, not in a real type of world. So, but anyway, if you are an old soul that existed in a real planet that wasn't a matrix, why would you need to come here to learn lessons and then get trapped? Why would you make a deal? I don't believe for a second that the people or the entities or beings that got trapped made some kind of deal that they need to learn lessons. I think that's a lie. If they need to learn lessons, it should be designed for people to get out. It is not designed for people to get out. I guess maybe certain entities get out, but I don't think so. I don't think anybody's getting out. I think that the ones that are stuck in here are just not getting out. And if the original souls, it looks like they used maybe some blood DNA or something from the original souls to create the rest of what you would call the matrix and other lives in the matrix. Lives, L-I-V-E-S, lives, other lives. How could you create it without having something that was original? I don't think the original beings decided to come here like they're learning lessons. You're not learning anything more in here than you did out there. Out there, you were way more advanced. You did look like a human being. You were creating worlds, not trying to figure out how you're going to pay your rent or trying to figure out how you're going to get a nice car, even if you got money, trying to get you were able to create worlds. Okay, whatever you want, you can just make the doggone stuff. You ain't need no money to get it. So what you need to come in here for to learn what? This was diabolical. What was done was diabolical. And it's not designed for people to get out. I know people want to say we're here to learn lessons. And some of the people say that we got to be careful listening to everybody who say that because everybody's not the original. So a lot of people who say that they're not the original. They were actually, a lot of people were actually created within the matrix. They weren't, they don't exist outside of it. They were actually created inside, they were actually created inside the matrix. So they're going to say things like, we're here to learn lessons, to graduate and all this stuff, because in their mind, they are here to graduate because they don't have any existence anywhere else. This is where their life started. This is where their existence started. So, yeah, the point I'm making is some of us don't have a reason to have any more patience with this thing. Some of us don't have any reason to have any more patience with this. I've come to the conclusion that it's not designed for you to graduate and get out. This thing, from what I keep feeling, has been around for hundreds of thousands of years, probably more than that. Hundreds of thousands of years, if not more, probably millions. This thing has been around a long time. It's not designed for people to graduate and get out. Okay? So, I just kind of decided that I don't think I want to accept this. And the reason why I don't want to accept it is because what's the point of suffering? At least allow people to have a good time in their lives. What's the point of all the suffering? I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been suffering. It's been a lot more than dealing with money and physical stuff. I've been dealing with a lot of spiritual stuff, for just unnecessary spiritual stuff. And this really has to do with other entities, or what you would call beings, that have a hatred for the feminine. Okay, that's what the stuff I deal with spiritually. It might not be a particular physical person, but sometimes it is. There's a hatred for the feminine. What are you supposed to learn from that? What are you supposed to learn from somebody hating the feminine principle? And now you got to deal with this spiritual warfare because you have entities that want to get rid of the feminine principle. Exactly what are you supposed to learn, and graduate? Why build a matrix and you volunteer to go into a matrix? And then it's nothing, a lot of it's just a lot of suffering. They're choosing who they want to suffer. Like, they identify people from birth. They identify your soul from birth. And you have been targeted ever since. What are you supposed to... And then it's like it's a non-stop attempt to want to kill you. And it's all this trying to align with the true self. And I talked about that a lot. Oh, let me align. But this is taking too long because I've been dealing with this stuff for a long time. I've been dealing with attacks for a long time. Really on the feminine. Okay, I know people are feminine, you have females, but some people, I guess, are more of a threat to this program that they have in place than others are. Everybody that's a female ain't attacked. Some of the most feminine looking women with high heel shoes and all that kind of stuff, they're not the ones that's being attacked like that. They're not a necessary threat to the whole program. When I'm talking about program, I'm talking about maybe the whole virtual reality system. Because as feminine as they might look, they did not come prior to the they didn't exist before the Matrix. And so because they didn't exist before the Matrix, it's really not a chance of them crashing anything. And I'm not saying I'm doing anything, but I do know this. I've come to a conclusion that this can't be accepted. I'm not here to learn. I've already know that I did not make any deals. I did not make any contracts. That's a lie to make you accept this crap. Oh, I'm suffering because I'm supposed to learn lessons. But what are you supposed to learn? Because when you figure out this is when you figure out that you're in an illusion, then you realize everything that you do every day doesn't matter because really you've done nothing at all, right? So if I've done nothing at all at the end of the day, after all the stress and all the work I had to put in and all the bills I had to pay and whatever you did, even raising children, at the end of the day, you're in a simulation, so really you didn't do none of it. It's just a simulation, which means it's something like real life, but it's not real life. That's what a simulation is. So what's the point of all the doggone suffering? And then you got entities that want to make sure you keep suffering. Like it's constant battles in the spiritual realm. It's constant battles. Okay, it's constant battles. You know, it's almost like you got to change your whole identity to keep from being attacked. That's not designed for you to learn. That's designed for them to kill off certain beings for good, so there's no threat in them losing what they put in place. People ain't getting out of this. And they're doing this to men too. They're doing this to men that have that kind of trait on them too. It's not just because I'm a female. They're doing this. I have seen some men that they are trying to silence, that they feel is a threat to their system. And when I say system, I'm not necessarily talking about a system within this particular matrix. I'm talking about the creators of the matrix, period. They already know who people are when they are born, and they they target them to destroy them. So there's no chance of them, of their whole creation getting destroyed, because the people who are the originals, the original ancient, those are the real ancient ones, has awakened. And now that they are waking up, they're going to destroy the whole holographic world because they have a consciousness that extends outside of the whole matrix because they came before. And so they want to make sure they destroy those souls. They want to make sure they destroy them so they don't take down the doggone matrix. So this is not acceptable. Anyway, I just feel like saying that. I don't have a whole lot of other stuff to say, but it's just unacceptable. Everybody's not a target, and so you can't say this to everybody because they feel like you should just don't focus on it. Just no, it's not about focusing on it. You're a target. It ain't you can not focus on it all you want to, which a lot of times most people who are targeted try not to focus on it, but the people who are targeting them are focusing on their target. See, I might not be focusing on being targeted, but the people who are targeting me, or the entities, I'll say, that are targeting me, they're focused, okay? They're focused. So this thing about ignoring stuff and blowing it off like it don't exist, that is some stuff to continue bad behavior. But this right here is beyond some bad behavior. This is some crazy, this is some stuff that destroys souls. This shit is serious is going on here. This is beyond some little bad behavior. And it should not be overlooked at all. I wish I could spend every second with my attention on that to make sure that it doesn't go on too much longer. Ignoring it's not going to make it go away because this is more than a problem. This is not just being an alcoholic. This is not just being a drug addict. This has to do with souls. And the fact that it's created for you not to get out. And the old souls, the real ancient ones that existed before this whole thing was created, hundreds of thousands of years ago, probably millions, they're targeted to be completely destroyed. So because they're waking up, no matter how old they are, they're waking up and they're being targeted so they don't tear down this shit that was created. Okay? But anyway, and how did they get here? Well, a planet that existed before there's a planet that's probably not called a planet, but I'm just going to use the word that we used here in this language. There was a planet that's currently lying in ruins. That's actually a real planet that's outside of this, literally above this virtual reality that we're in, which I've seen looks like CERN. I came out of it. It looks like CERN. Looked like it's been buried for thousands of years, if not more. Okay? And so they don't want that to be ruined. And so because that planet is in ruin, the souls that were there got trapped in here. It's a trap. We didn't make any deals to come here and learn something. What the hell you gonna learn inside of a darn computer? Why do you need to come inside of an advanced computer to learn anything when you were so much more advanced than any computer that anybody could ever invent? And when I'm talking about, listen, Atlantis was created inside this virtual reality. All that stuff was created inside of virtual Egypt, Kemet. Because I'm saying this thing has been in place like hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions. So Kemet, Atlantis, all that stuff pretty much existed inside of this matrix. It's like not even a real world. You know, it exists inside of a matrix. Okay? Because when you are extremely advanced, why would you have some beings? Atlantis, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was credited for that advanced technology. If you're already an advanced being, creating worlds just by your own self, just by yourself, just by the magic you already have, which I don't think the word magic was even used. Well, no words were used. But you know what I mean. Why the hell would anybody need to create some doggone technology? That means that the brown people that was creating that technology, even though they seem advanced, they were actually lower level, fallen. I don't even know if I want to call them fallen. They were like they're counterfeits. They're not real. They're counterfeits. They were created inside the matrix. It's a lot of brown people and that was created inside the matrix. They did not exist outside of it. And that's why it's hard to get everybody on the same page. You can't do that. Everybody's not the same. Anyway, I got to go and I'll talk later.